David.
Griffin.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh.
My name's Griffin Newman.
I'm David Sibbs.
This is Griffin and David Present.
Revenge of the Podcast!
Revenge of the Podcast. This is our new mini-series.
Do they say I have a bad feeling about this in this one?
Oh,
they say
yeah.
it a lot in the second one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They say it within the first 20 minutes of this film, which is what we're covering today on today's episode, as is tradition.
It's tradition.
We
have so many hoary old traditions.
We break off a mini-series with just the first, up into the first crazy edit.
Yep.
So there's, what do you call it? It's not a wipe edit. It's the one
It's like a windshield wiper edit.
It's like the one. It's like the clock edit.
Yeah.
It's like the hands of a clock.
Yeah, we're doing the first battle sequence / lightsaber fight / plane crash, 22-minute. I just called it a cartoon episode. It's like an episode of, Samurai Jack.
I have an analogy. Well, except it's not a masterpiece.
Right.
I have an analogy I want to throw out later in the episode. But let's just set the table quickly.
Yeah.
Because who knows? Maybe first-time listener.
It could be.
This is a mini-series. It started out as us doing a limited series about The Phantom Menace, a film that we thought never got a sequel.
Yeah, we're real stupid.
George Lucas's sci-fi opera clearly had big plans, bigger narrative ambitions. We found out at the end of that miniseries that, in fact, there was
a sequel
called Attack of the Clones.
Yeah,
good. The second Phantom Menace movie.
Yeah.
We took a brief detour into Judging the Judge.
It's okay. Let's stick on Star Wars for now.
The original question was, what is the Phantom Menace about?
Oh, yeah, right. And then this with Attack of the Clones, it was, is this a good sequel? Wait, do you have a core question for this third film we've just uncovered? You don't.
I don't have one yet. I mean, I have to make a confession. I this week, for two reasons, only watched up to the point that we're discussing today.
Okay.
One is I thought, let's keep it fucking pure. Okay? I have now uncovered the memories, because we didn't know this movie existed, and then we realized we did, in fact, know it existed.
I know why I buried the memories. I'll tell you that much.
I saw it 3 times in theaters, and I don't remember like any of it. So,
really? Like, you really don't?
I remember the end only.
Sure.
I feel like.
Yeah.
I was watching this shit, and none of it was ringing a bell. But so I watched the first 22 minutes only because I was like, keep it pure. Actually don't have the knowledge of where it's going when you're watching it, you know?
Okay.
And only talk about it, what the beginning sets up. Yeah. And 2 was a poor time planning on my part.
Yeah. That's the real reason.
Time management.
I put it on last night and just couldn't turn it off.
Yeah.
I'm just bringing up the opening crawl.
I don't have a core question yet because I haven't seen the whole thing yet. But I think it...
Shoot.
I'm trying to find the right way to word this. I feel like it has to be something about, like, now that we know he's made 3 of them.
George Lucas.
We can't...
Writer and director.
We've been analyzing these movies from this stance of, like, what was he trying to do? What did he want this to build to?
Okay.
We now have the complete picture. The Star Wars trilogy. The Phantom Menace trilogy.
That's true.
Right?
Yes.
I feel like the question has to be, like, what was...
Does this conclude the story well?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I guess that's the question. Is this a fitting end to the Star Wars trilogy? That's the question.
Yeah.
That's the mystery. That's the investigation. We figured it out. There we go.
Jeez. It's like pulling teeth with you.
I haven't been sleeping well.
A long time ago.
Uh-huh.
In a galaxy far, far away.
We talked about this before. I just want to stop once again. Not discussed enough that these are period films.
For crying out loud. It's so ridiculous.
They're period movies. They're period pictures.
Stop saying period.
The period picture.
They're set a long time ago.
A long time ago.
I'm rolling over my power cord right now. All right, there we go.
So we're reading the crawl. Okay, it's always exciting to break off a new crawl.
Yeah, right? I think it's a good way to start.
We like a crawl.
Revenge
we
of
like
the
a
Sith.
good crawl.
By the way, this movie is garbage.
I haven't
just
only watched the first 22 minutes.
Yeah, just a frothy shit. That's what this movie is.
I'm trying. I want to be. I don't. Because David,
it's immediately worse than the other two.
David, we can't get this cynical and negative.
I know, you don't want me to be
negative. We're going to make it 10 episodes?
You don't want me to be negative because we got to do 10 episodes.
This might not be a 10 episode season.
It might not be. I don't think
it might break us. I don't know. We're going to see what I want.
It somehow looks worse than the last one.
I will say, I got some really good guests lined up. I haven't talked to you about it.
What?
Yeah. Not specific dates, but I've been like reaching out to people and getting time frames of like, okay, I'm off work these 2 weeks. I'm back this week or 2 weeks. So like,
let's talk about that.
We're going to have some fucking killer guests coming up.
All right. Here's the opening crawl.
Yeah.
Excited for the guest.
Yeah.
Okay. War.
Oh, I mean, David, come on.
It's pretty
David,
good.
come
Pretty
on.
good. The Republic is crumbling under attacks by the ruthless Sith Lord, Count Dooku.
Okay,
Oh,
kind
sure,
of cool.
Although you're like, oh, why didn't we see that? Crumbling, that sounds fun. Like, let's watch some of that. But anyway.
But, David, it's not worded as the Republic has crumbled. It is crumbling. We're mid-crumble. We're going to get to see some of the fucking crumble.
Now, here's this sentence, not quite so
I like
punchy.
fucking active. We're in the action.
There are heroes on both sides. Evil is everywhere.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what that really
There are
means.
heroes on both.
So you're saying like there are good people and bad people on both sides of this, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, of course.
A little less compelling.
It's a war.
Yeah.
Not every person is.
All right, now here we go.
Heroes on
All
both.
right.
There's evil.
And now we've got like
Wait, say that sentence one more time.
there are heroes on both sides.
Okay.
Evil is everywhere.
Well, it sounds
It's
like.
very existential.
Yeah, it kind of contradicts
Don't forget,
itself.
evil is everywhere.
There's heroes on both sides, but there's evil. So he's just saying.
Good and bad.
A lot. Okay,
You know,
fuck.
mix.
Yeah,
It's a mix.
okay,
Rainy and
okay.
sunny.
Okay.
All right, now this is about as blinding a left turn. This is a U-turn.
Okay. I'm gonna eat some peanuts while you read this. Yeah.
In a stunning move, the fiendish droid leader, General Grievous, has swept into the Republic capital and kidnapped Chancellor Palpatine, leader of the Galactic Senate.
Okay. First off, George, a little, to describe your own
Yeah,
move
pump
is
the brakes.
stunning.
Yeah, pump
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Like, you're not saying like
And not like the Black Eyed
a man
Peas
of
pump
stunning
it.
power. You're saying like a stunning narrative turn.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
a stunning off-screen narrative turn,
Yeah.
a person you've never heard of.
Okay. Wait. Give me the sentence again.
In a stunning move, the fiendish droid leader General Grievous has swept into the Republic capital and kidnapped Chancellor Palpatine, leader of the Galactic Senate.
Okay.
So Palpatine's a hostage.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Which is interesting because we also know.
Yeah, he's pulling the strings on
Right,
both sides.
Right, and we don't know who Grievous works for.
And
Grievous
who
is
he is, or what he is, or what's going on, or why he's fiendish.
Yeah, no, okay. So I'm kind of liking this now. Okay, so Grievous.
I'm not.
No, I am. I'm liking this a lot. I got a stiffy. Grievous is a droid general. Does that mean he is the general of the droids? Does he command all the droids? Is that his job? That they went, okay, clones one side, humans, non-cloned humans one side, droids one side, three sides, like a triangle. Or did they need a general and they were like, let's build one?
As the Separatist droid army attempts to flee the besieged capital with their valuable hostage, 2 Jedi Knights lead a desperate mission to rescue the captive Chancellor. ...
I wonder which two.
It's good to know. It's interesting to note that like this preamble really only speaks to the first 20 minutes of the movie. Like the rest of the movie, this doesn't really have anything to do with.
Which is maybe
Because the first 20 minutes solves this issue,
Yeah.
the kidnapping, and the war pretty, 90% of it at least.
maybe how the crawl should function. Like maybe
Maybe,
just
yeah,
set up.
sure.
So we have mystery.
It's just
so
some
we have
backstory.
right. Okay, so the two Jedis, I'm guessing, are going to be Yariel, Puth, and Yaddle.
And you're absolutely... Yaddle never shows up again. We actually never talked about
No,
that. She's only in episode
She's not
1.
in the council in the other ones.
They fired her.
Yeah. This is a good sidebar, just because lateral thinking. No one listening would have this thought. Yaddle and your man, queer man Yariel Puth, makes me think of. Last night I was reading our reviews on iTunes.
Okay.
Producer Ben,
Woo!
a.k.a. Producer Ben, a.k.a. Ben Deucer, a.k.a. Hello Fennel, a.k.a. Mr. Positive, a.k.a. The Haas.
Hey, that's great. I'm so excited to hear that people are leaving reviews. That's so awesome.
25 5-star reviews.
Oh, that's
Yes.
really great.
Thank you, guys. That's so great.
1-star review
What?
from
Fun.
some fucking Sith Lord
Oh, really?
out there. I don't know who it was. They didn't write the
Did
review.
he identify himself as a Sith Lord? You're not supposed to do that.
They did not write the review.
Oh, they just gave
left
a
the
1 star.
Can you pull it up though? Because we have.
I'm trying to find it. Yeah,
Okay.
the internet in here is really bad.
Yep, we had a review that corrected. There's, very nice things people had to say, including the 2 reviews written by Ben. Very,
Thank you,
very
Ben.
nice
Thank
things.
you, Ben.
And you'll know which 2 they are because one of them is signed the Haas and the other one is signed Mr. Positive. But one of the reviews pointed out that we have been making a big faux pas across 2 miniseries. The Jedi with the cockroach face, who we have been calling Plo Koon this entire time,
Yeah.
is in fact called Plo Koon.
Oh, shit.
They
That's
said,
how
like,
you pronounce
show Kloon.
Sorry about that.
So
His name is never said aloud. I believe that's part of the problem.
apologies to Plo Koon.
Yeah. Apologies to the cockroach race he represents.
He's got a cockroach face.
Okay, well, I'm just loading these reviews. They'll be ready in
Okay.
like 20 minutes.
But,
so,
but hey,
let's...
you know what? Keep it up. Keep rating.
Mhm.
Keep reviewing. Unless you're a fucking Sith.
Mm-hmm.
We got no time for your 1-star garbage. 3 or higher. Guess what?
No, 5 or higher.
Okay, how about this? 6 or higher.
Well, no, then no one's going to leave a review because they won't figure out how to leave a 6-star review. Have you been watching the review?
Yeah, it's the best.
Did you see the 6-star
Yeah,
episode?
it's the best.
It's fantastic.
That's my favorite show on television.
It's the best.
I give it 6 stars.
Me too.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm throwing down
Out
the
of 10.
gauntlet
Just kidding.
right now. If you give us a 1-star rating or review, you are not allowed to listen to the show anymore.
Boom!
Done.
Fuck you!
Done. No fucking Siths allowed. If you give us 1 star or you write a nasty comment, you're fucking out.
You're out.
I'm deeming you a Sith. You gotta wear that on your fucking chest like a scarlet letter. Have fun getting employed. You gotta go door to door when you move to a new neighborhood and knock.
The
tell
Sith
everyone
really,
that you're a Sith.
they really struggle with getting employed.
They
It's
really
tough to
do.
find a job once you've been, identified as a Sith Lord.
Yeah, but here's for me.
That's actually not true.
If you
as
ask
see in
me,
this movie.
Yeah, if you ask me, it speaks a lot to the way that our country stigmatizes mental illness. Do you know what I'm saying? Because
You're saying the Sith are mentally ill?
I'm saying I don't like what they do, but perhaps we should investigate what leads someone to become a Sith in the first place.
Hey, I found our podcast on iTunes.
Okay, let's read some reviews.
Here's some reviews.
I think the Sith are mentally ill. Why would any sane person want to be a Sith? That's not cool.
Ooh, we have a parental advisory.
Really?
Explicit content. Okay.
Well, it was all that TC-14
Yeah,
talk.
I was
I
gonna say.
had to
Gross.
make a call there.
I do talk about robot pussy a
All
lot.
right, well, here's
Yeah.
here's the Crab Things review.
Okay.
Quote, the title of the review is Mr. Positive. Quote, hate these guys. Attack of the Clones is dumb. 5 stars.
5 stars.
So thank you for that.
So, he's a bit, don't know if he's a Sith or not.
Here's Jenna Carley.
Yeah.
Very informative. I learned a lot about Rachel Bilson's personal life. Great show.
That's all we
5
could ask.
stars.
I'm really glad we could be at service. Yeah, that's great.
From Lawsondale.
Okay.
Fanfic.
Mhm.
This is just for the fanfic episode. Unbelievably sexy. 5 stars.
Well, David, sounds like it's time for you to drink my diarrhea because you
No, thank you.
hated that episode, didn't want it to happen, tried to shut it down, and we got fucking specific fans who are only here for the fanfiction.
And that was Ricky Irwin who pointed out that you're saying Plo Kloon wrong.
Yeah, good guy, good man.
I'm trying to... Cold Milk. The most delightfully offbeat and weirdly insightful film pod. No, this one's actually just nice. It's not weird. Thank you, though, Cold Milk.
It's a great man, Chris Cookson.
Oh, I like this one.
We
I
read
like
his
this
theory
one.
on Fan Master. Cold Milk has one line I really liked. If you can turn
Jesus.
your screen over.
All right.
Griffin's enthusiasm, stories, and willingness to potentially sabotage his career for a joke.
Really
really
carry the
carried the
podcast. Whereas my more understated tone compliments, but he really just likes you.
Well,
That's
he's an
what
old
calling
friend of
someone
mine. He's an old
understated
friend of mine.
means. Oh, okay,
we were friends
All right.
10 years ago. Yeah.
Literally butter. I love this podcast and listen to it almost daily to fall asleep. My girlfriend, however, is not a fan. 5 stars. Don't leave us a review, girlfriend.
Yeah, this is my favorite comment. They're saying that our podcast is Literally Butter, or that's the username?
Literally butter is the username.
Okay.
But our podcast is literally butter. So
I love that he loves it. I don't know what to... I mean, I wonder what kind of dreams he's having. And also, is he saying we're a snooze fest?
no, look, I listen sometimes to a podcast to sort of doze off. It happens.
I couldn't fall asleep last night, so I called up I pulled up a YouTube playlist of old Italian men talking about pizza.
Sure, sounds great.
I just listen to old Italian men talk about pizza.
Okay, Patrick Cotner, hey Pat,
Hey, Pat.
says, all the movies. I hope they do all the movies. Every movie ever. 5 stars.
Well, I mean, we used to think there were only 6 movies in total. Now we're starting to realize there are more and more, so I think we might be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And
And finally, I wanted just the
Okay,
1-star
yes,
review.
yes.
It's a review.
Really?
Yeah. No, listen to this. Don't
Okay.
look.
Okay.
From 5 Top EAT1NG, which stop eating
Okay.
in elite speak.
Okay.
Stop eating on mic. It's disgusting. 1 star. Eat some peanuts right now for that motherfucker. So yeah, we have 25 reviews, 24 5 stars, 1 1-star. Still pretty good. Doesn't hurt our average rating. That's actually really gross.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Ben's like turning your mic down right now.
Turn it up.
So,
I was want to say, record time for us to avoid talking about the movie.
Yeah, seriously.
We're
I don't
20
wanna
minutes
talk
into
about it.
episode
Oh,
1.
no, I let it run a little bit, so we're probably only about 11 in.
Okay.
So, this movie begins with a huge opening battle over Coruscant
Yeah.
between a bunch of triangle-shaped ships and donut-shaped ships, and I guess there's a lot of smaller ships kind of weaving
A lot
around.
of smaller droids.
But you can't really, yes, droid ships and stuff. You can't really tell what's going on.
I got to stop you already. Because this is my first complaint I have about the movie.
Yeah, please.
This is not how a Phantom Menace movie is supposed to start.
Okay, so how is a Phantom Menace movie supposed to start, in your opinion? With an assassination attempt, as the second movie does?
Da, 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 crawl, 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 crawl.
Yeah, does
Then
that.
fades into just space.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see a ship go by.
Yeah, that's true. The
Okay.
first one, it's the Jedi ambassador ship, you know,
Mhm.
and in the second one, it's Amidala's.
Yeah. Royal Cruiser, whatever.
Yeah, and this one, it's like we see the sun.
Yeah.
And then we kind of pan down to Coruscant, and then we see this like epic battle is happening.
we
over
see there are like
Coruscant.
a billion ships.
Yeah.
Right? And already I'm like,
This movie is kind of saying like it's zooming out as wide as possible. This is something I'm going to talk about a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's really trying to show off how much detail it can fit into a frame.
which,
Is annoying.
congratulations.
Yeah,
You've
great
done
job,
it.
Georgie.
Tons of detail. I hope you're happy.
Yep.
Drink that detail in a cup of my diarrhea. Mix it in with diarrhea. I got a fucking diarrhea McFlurry machine. You could pick your mixin'. Your mixin' is details.
Carry on.
We pan down.
Yep.
One ship, the central ship, sort of flies by in classic Phantom Menace fashion.
Yeah.
But there's so much other fucking shit going on. What usually happens is ships flying by,
Right.
then there's like a big action,
Right.
and then there's like a lull, right?
And then we
Right,
get
so-
to something.
So in,
Yeah.
in Clones, we got ship goes by, lands, there's a lot of silence, you see people standing there, it's like peaceful, it lulls you into it, explosion.
It's a bad opening.
In Phantom, we see the ship going by, they're communicating
Yeah,
permission to
and
dock,
like,
this
yeah.
and that, the ship land. There's like 4 minutes before they get in, but it
that's
situates
true.
you into the world.
Not this time. War.
My brain immediately turned off.
I know it's really terrible.
It's such a fucking overload.
Well, especially because it's like, yeah, it's a cartoon. It's just a cartoon thing you're watching. It's just like,
and it's like 17 minutes before we have more than one line of dialogue at the same time.
Real long.
Right?
So you've got
I like the balance between like actor, because this shit's going on. I don't care. You've given me no reason to care. Don't
Yeah.
assume just because I watched the 2 other movies.
maybe do your big space battle at the end, like
Yeah.
in Phantom Menace,
Yeah.
where it doesn't work, but it works better than this.
You gotta let us get into our seat. You gotta let us kick our shoes off. You gotta let us resituate ourselves so
War.
the characters. Ugh,
War.
ugh.
War. So
So just shit.
we've got
happened.
Anakin.
We got Anakin and we got Obi-Wan. And
They're in
then
fighter pilots.
both in fighters, and
They're in fighter-
Obi-Wan's got our old buddy R2. And
No,
Anakin,
no. Anakin has R2. Obi-Wan
Oh, you're
has
right.
R4.
Oh, fucking
that
R4.
red piece of shit who gets his head ripped off
Yeah, that was kind of fun to watch
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
hate R4.
by buzz droids.
Yeah. And then we have Vulture droid. That's the other thing. Every 45 seconds,
Yeah, they're
he's
like,
introducing
Look
a
at
new...
those, a new toy for you to buy.
Yeah. But they're like naming it and then
Yeah,
showing
yeah.
the 3 action features that toy will
No,
have.
I mean, one of the most it really made my blood boil, and I had forgotten about it. Is
Yeah.
like when the buzz droid is on Obi-Wan's ship,
Yeah.
and R2's trying to zap it, and Obi-Wan's like, hit the center eye! Like, it's literally like a Star Fox game. Like,
Yeah.
it's, he's just giving video game instructions to the, like, programmer of this video game that will come out.
And they're giving you instructions for
Hit
the
the
toy,
center
which
eye!
is like if you hit the center eye, then the thing explodes. The spring-loaded feature.
Did you have a buzz droid?
No, I didn't. I will actually say I don't know if I bought any Revenge of the Sith
Is that
figures.
true?
Yeah. It was in a period of my life where I thought I had no time for childish things.
You put away your childish thing.
Yeah, and then I got a little older and I had disposable income and now I spent all my money on toys again.
Yeah, cool. Good job.
Yeah, I'm doing great. But Merchandise Spotlight might come back this season. I don't have
Yeah,
one
yeah,
prepared today, but they
let's do some.
ramped it up
Let's
again.
do a couple. Yeah.
There was some weird shit. They ramped it up again. But it was they really put pedal to the metal, and like I know I was reading about the history of Phantom Menace toys recently.
Sure.
The big selling point for this movie was they were like, we're not gonna focus on characters, we're gonna focus on ships and fucking droids, and you see it because this movie starts and it's like 80,000 ships.
Oh my God.
all these all these fucking
There's so
missiles
many droids
flying.
in this movie.
Yeah.
And there's missiles flying. There's this extended thing with like Obi-Wan distracts the missiles by sort of zipping around, and Anakin goes into like a spin that makes them.
They're like
collide.
torpedo missiles.
Yeah,
like
they're
in
like
addition to like
torpedo
the sort of
missiles.
laser shit we've had.
Yeah, sure. And you've got the buzz droids that kind of crawl all over your ship and like sort of rip it apart piece by piece.
And then the vulture droids are the ones where their like legs flip down and
they
sort
were
of,
in the first one. They were in Phantom Menace a little.
They're at the end,
the end.
Attack of the Clones, and now they're like a big fucking thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I just like I don't know, dude. I'm 26 years old, right? I feel a million. I look
you
like
are a
I'm
million.
12, but I'm 26. And I just sat there and I was like, God, I get a fucking headache. Like I felt like a grandpa watching this opening. I just was like, do kids like this?
No, I mean, it kind of reminded me of Transformers, which I think had come out a year earlier, 2004. I think is Transformers.
The first one? Oh no,
no,
sir.
am I wrong?
2007.
It's 2000. Okay, I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know
sir.
Yeah, no, of course it's not 2004. Wow, they've made 4 of those things since 2007. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Where like I remember when I watched Transformers, at the end I was like, I don't know what's happening. Like my eyes can't track this.
I love the first Transformers.
I like it too.
But even that's an example of like, okay, that movie starts in media res with like the attack on the military base, right?
Transformers does?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you see a military base that, although heightened to a Bay degree, behaves like how we know a military base behaves in the real world.
In
right?
Transformers.
Yes.
Sure.
And they're like, what's
I'm
this?
struggling to recall.
Weird signal. What's this?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
the helicopter turns into a robot. It functions sort of as a
the
horror
beginning
sequence.
is good. I just think the end is horrible of Transformers.
Sure,
The rest
it
of the movie's
becomes
good.
chaos.
Yeah.
But like that's the opening, and then from there we go to Shia LaBeouf, and we have like 30 minutes of character work
I agree.
before
And
the
you
Transformers end.
Totally agree.
You know, and that's like we're talking bare minimum shit here. It's not even like fucking rich characterization. Although I do think the first Transformers is a very, very functional blockbuster.
Yeah.
It's a functional blockbuster in a way the sequels are not.
No, the third one's great. Third one's easily.
I like the third one.
It's a
I like the
not a
third.
masterpiece. It's really good.
Yeah, but 2 and 4 are horrendous, almost unwatchable.
4 was such a bummer.
Yeah.
2 is the
This
worst
is
movie.
like that's the other thing is George has always been like pretty reserved in
Yes.
his cinematic style.
I agree.
Even though he's doing like space battles.
No, a lot of slow pans, a lot of, yeah.
And he centers the frame and
Yes.
the action happens within the frame, and
Very
if there
much.
is any movement, it is a slow pan.
Phantom
even though
Menace
it's CGI.
has really clear action.
Really clear action.
Attack of the Clones,
Well,
not
I
so
think
much.
there is until the end.
Yeah, the
when we
end's
get
chaos,
to
yeah.
the war where he openly said, I just went to the special effects
Right,
team
had
and
him
said,
do a
come
lot
up
of
with
stuff.
shit.
Right, yeah.
Come up with the
And this one
craziest thing
must
you
be
can.
the same process.
This feels like from the get-go,
Yeah.
he did that for everything.
Well, because it's 3 years on. You've got better
Yeah.
technology, one imagines. Show off.
But it also feels like he's so dispassionate about that he's like, I mean, because what they say in fucking Attack of the Clones, it's the last scene of the movie is the war breaking out, right?
Sure.
And he said, basically what I wrote in the script was all hell breaks loose.
Right.
And I handed it to them and said,
One page.
interpret that how you want.
Yeah.
Right? He wrote one sentence. He didn't describe any of it.
Yeah.
This, it feels like every page of the script he went, something crazy happens. You figure it out. And then there are 2 lines of
You
dialogue.
don't think he wrote lines like, look out, buzz droids, hit the center eye.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think
No,
he
I know,
wrote
I know.
1 or 2 lines of dialogue
Yeah.
so that they know what to reverse engineer the toys around and how to make them work. Oh,
Sure.
you hit the center eye, the thing explodes. That's the button. It's button activated. And the video game designers could do that. And the rest of it was just like, I don't know, more stuff happens with shots.
Okay. But
But it feels like it's made by 70 different filmmakers. The camera's fucking whizzing around,
No, I
spinning
know.
around, doing fucking tricks, doing an ollie, a 180.
Yeah, ooh. Yeah.
Not to
Maybe
mention, okay, do we want to go through this in narrative order? It's hard to go through it in narrative
I
order
just
because
wanna
there's
say-
so much chaos I can't
I know,
remember
but,
what fucking happened.
In
Yeah.
the pilot sequence, when they're in the, Obi-Wan and Anakin are bantering.
Yes.
It's sort of the same as Attack of the Clones. It's
Yes,
I
on
would
2
say
different ships.
a little better. Just a little bit better.
Okay, make this argument. I feel like we've switched positions now.
Ewan McGregor is much bigger in this movie than he is in the last 2.
But I think he's appropriately sized.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. He's finally
Playing at McDermott levels.
quite hammy,
He's eating the ham.
and it's good. Way better than
It's a
in
delicious
the
honey
first
baked
movie.
ham.
In the
Yeah.
first movie, he's kind of a non-entity. In the
Right.
second movie, he's
getting
too
there.
serious.
Yeah, but he's
This
got some.
one-
He's got some gravitas in the second one.
some, but in this one, he's actually got it, in my opinion.
Yeah, with slicing
And
the ham.
Hayden Christensen, still bad.
Yeah, I would contend worse.
Worse in later scenes, but in this scene, he doesn't completely just deliver every line in a total monotone.
I'll say this. I think his line readings
Once
are...
he gets to the romance word, and everything else.
I was going to say his line readings are more natural. I would correct that by saying his line readings are less unnatural. Correct? I think we agree his line readings are less unnatural within the first 22 minutes of this movie.
Right? Yeah, at the start. But then he gets back into the old habits.
In the first 22 minutes of the movie, his line readings are less unnatural.
Yeah.
That having been said, I also think he is 50% less charismatic than he was in the first movie. And I do not think he was charismatic in the first movie.
I think I agree with you.
His line readings sound more like how a human being talks, but it also feels like they just woke him up. Like he fell asleep in between each line, and they had to shake him in the green screen cockpit, and he went, Obi-Wan, I don't know what we're going to do about these droids.
Even more than in the second movie, and this is truer later, where it's more just like actual dialogue scenes, it really feels like George Lucas just said, like to Samuel L. Jackson, like, okay, say you sit over there. And Samuel L. Jackson's like, you sit over there. And he's like, we got it.
But
we'll
didn't let them read this. It was like telling them the land, having them repeat
just
it
say
like
this
a
out
parrot.
loud. Yeah, right. Exactly. It really feels that way because,
But Hayden Christensen, okay, so we see him. Anakin's got long hair now. Remember that when he was like a sandy blonde little boy?
Yeah.
Okay, the second movie's hair's a little darker.
Sure.
He's got the Jedi braid.
But he's got the sort of crew cut. Yeah.
This movie's got dark.
He's got an Obi-Wan haircut. He's got this long shoulder. Yeah.
Oh, but Obi-Wan's haircut was long but still neat.
That's true.
Like,
It's straight. This is more, L'Oreal sort of bouncy.
Yeah.
It's got some sheen.
Curls, looks mad dirty.
Yeah.
I can't tell if he dyed his hair or if it's gotten darker.
Force dyed.
And he's got a scar across his eye.
He's got a little scar.
And so it's supposed to be like, oh, this is an Anakin. I guess.
And of course, he's got a robot arm.
He's got a robot
with like
arm.
a black glove.
Yeah. Need it even be said? This movie starts and the Clone Wars are wrapping up.
Oh yeah, right. We didn't even. I mean, we joked about it so much, but like, yeah. This is the last big battle of the Clone Wars.
And Anakin's got the scar in his eye. We just don't. I guess. Oh
now,
man, it looks like he probably had a crazy battle. Something he must have grown up a lot. We don't see any of that.
Just gotta say,
yeah.
The Clone Wars makes no sense based on this battle.
Go on.
The Separatist army has somehow broken through everything to get to, one assumes, the most impregnable part of Republic space, right? The Coruscant must be at the center of everything.
Yes.
So they've gone all the way in.
Mm-hmm.
And yet this is their downfall somehow. They capture the Chancellor. That doesn't work out.
Yeah.
They get the Chancellor back. But then is that it? Like, are all their ships destroyed in this? Is this like a last gasp effort? Is that the idea? How did they get all the way in is my question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Back to Hayden Christensen.
We should watch the Clone Wars show. Maybe it explains that stuff.
Yeah, we should. They're two different shows we've discovered. One directed by Jenny Tartakovsky, who's one of, I would contend, our finest living filmmakers.
I mean, he doesn't make films, but sure.
He did make a film. It was called Hotel Transylvania, and it fucking rules.
I've never seen Hotel Transylvania. I forgot that was him.
Ready for me to throw my soapbox down on the ground for a second?
Okay. That movie gets no credit because Adam Sandler's in it?
Yes. But guess what? And all his cronies. It's like the Happy Madison crew doing all the voices.
Yeah.
That movie is written by Robert Smigel. It's got fucking good jokes.
Yeah.
It's got fucking
should
good-ass
watch it.
jokes.
Did they do two?
It's coming out in like 2
No, but
weeks.
I mean, like, are they involved or did they like pass it off?
I don't know if Smigel wrote on it. I don't know. Jenny Tartakovsky still directed it. Jenny Tartakovsky, who did Dexter's Lab.
No, I love Jenny.
Samurai Jack.
Right, yeah, sorry.
Star Wars The Clone Wars, the 2D miniseries, is one of the finest purveyors of real, expressive character animation.
Tartakovsky and Smigel wrote Hotel Transylvania too.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm so jazzed.
You're there.
That's my most anticipated movie of the fall. Hotel Transylvania is a film that is so immensely visual that even though I think the jokes are good, and a lot of the Sandler cronies who often sound like they're kind of fucking phoning it in, who often on screen feel like they're phoning in their performances, in this movie give active, engaged performances that recall their earlier days on SNL when they gave a shit.
Mm-hmm.
You could watch all of Hotel Transylvania on mute and you would get every single story plot point because he fucking uses animation like Chuck Jones. He does. It's really expressive. He's not limited to the physics of how a character would behave. I love Pixar, but Pixar is pretty traditional and like, here's a model and we'll animate that model as if they are a puppet.
Right.
Hotel Transylvania characters' bodies are changing to fit their moods. They're becoming larger and smaller. Their arms are stretching out. It feels like a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon. It rules.
Okay.
You know what else is cool? Monsters. Monsters are the best, David. Everyone should watch Hotel Transylvania.
Great. Now,
on mute.
But then there was a Clone Wars.
He made that.
No, but then there was another Clone Wars.
Oh, right. So that was based on his style, but he had no involvement in it.
Well, and also it was 3D animation. It doesn't look as
and it ran like 5
interesting.
seasons.
Yeah.
I've been trying to
And
watch
then they made a movie of it.
some of it recently. I've been trying to get into it for the sake of this podcast. I'd only seen a smattering of episodes across. I'm going to try to now go through and watch from the beginning. I've heard it gets good like season 2.
Yeah, no thanks.
That's
anyway,
a big
so
investment.
the Clone Wars are over, is our point.
This is the point I was going to
Basically,
make.
the end of the Clone Wars.
It feels like what they're trying to show is that like Anakin's grown up and he's found whatever sort of inner peace because he doesn't seem whiny. He doesn't have the same sort of like devil may care attitude. He's a little more grounded.
Definitely.
And boring.
And he's not like challenging. Yeah, and boring. It's
boring.
True. But Obi-Wan is trying to counteract by just being like, ho, ho, ho! Obi-Wan's in his house! He doesn't say that. It'd be great if he did that.
Well, yeah, he's being a little more boisterous. He's almost hitting Boss Nass levels of like.
Hey, Ben.
Well, is it that Obi-Wan is still a bachelor and Anakin's got the old ball and chain?
He does. Anakin definitely seems like he's got a real King of Queens vibe going on. Where he's just like, God, fucking domestic life is tough. King of Queens starring Kevin James, who plays Frankenstein in Hotel Transylvania, which you should all watch. It's
Who does
available on
Buscemi
Vudu.
play?
Buscemi plays the Wolfman. He's so good in it. He's like a wolfman who's got like 7 cubs, and he's just so fucking tired because he's got to take care of 7 wolves all the time. He's just slumped over, and he goes like, I gotta get some time away from the kids. Molly Shannon's his wife. It's a great movie. Hotel Transylvania. I wish they'd called it Hotu Transylvania.
I'll
Sylvania.
admit, who plays his daughter?
Selena Gomez in a surprisingly emotional voice performance.
I mean, I'll admit I've seen the trailer for Hotel Transylvania 2 a couple times, and like, it has like a couple solid laughs.
I thought I was really disappointed by the trailer for this could be a whole episode about Hotel Transylvania.
We gotta get it off of this track right now.
I was not planning on seeing Hotel Transylvania and was like, I can't believe Jenny Tardovsky did it. It doesn't even look like his work. And then I had a flight get delayed, and I like went to the nearby movie theater because I had 3 hours to kill.
Sure.
And was like, this movie fucking rules, and no one's talking about it. And it wasn't nominated for Best Animated Film.
Wasn't it? No, I was about to ask.
No, and like some shitty bullshit was instead. This is like pure animation. It's like everything animation can be.
Well, now I really want to watch it.
It's really good.
Okay.
Great comedic character animation.
It was nominated for a Golden Globe.
Yeah.
But not an Oscar.
They got it right for once.
They're usually pretty good about it, actually.
CeeLo Green played Murray the Mummy in the original film, and they recast him with Keegan-Michael Key.
Is that because of the whole
Yep.
CeeLo saying it's okay if he rapes people or
Yep.
whatever, if they're asleep or something? I forget what he did.
CeeLo Green doesn't. He goes, it's not possible to rape someone if they're asleep because they're asleep, so they couldn't say no.
So he's saying, like, it's like, who knows? 50-50. Is that his argument? Like, yeah, you didn't know yes, you didn't know no.
You definitely didn't hear no. And to that I say, hey, CeeLo Green, enjoy not playing a mummy anymore.
Yeah. Well,
that's your punishment.
And your millions of dollars. So that year, the nominees were Brave, Frankenweenie, Paranorman.
So they were like, you're wrapped.
Dude, 2000...
Yeah.
That's a picture wrap on CeeLo Green.
No, I just want to say, 2012, pretty stacked.
Yeah.
Brave, which I don't like, but,
I think is okay.
it's okay. Frankenweenie, which is pretty good.
I'm not a huge fan of
But,
it.
I can...
And I'm a huge Tim Burton defender, as we know. Not a huge fan.
Paranorman, which is the deserving, maybe, winner of that year.
Was probably my second or third favorite movie that year.
Great movie.
2012,
Wreck-It Ralph.
that was my
2012.
second favorite movie.
Wreck-It Ralph, which is also fantastic.
Is really
and
solid.
Would maybe also be my choice.
I
Either
like
of those.
Hotel Transylvania more than Wreck-It Ralph, I will say.
No, thank you. And then the Pirates Band of Misfits, which was the one that kind of snuck
it's really
in,
fun.
but is really a cute movie.
I like I would go Paranorman, Hotel Transylvania, Wreck-It Ralph, Pirates, Brave. Was that the lineup? Yeah, Frankenweenie. I don't like Frankenweenie. It was better as a short. Okay, Anakin is boring.
He's real boring.
He's got nothing going on here.
But he's more fun in this than he is later.
Yeah,
like he
I haven't
only
watched
gets
it yet.
more
I haven't
boring.
watched it yet.
All right.
We got just talk about the 22 minutes.
I
Keep it
want to
pure.
talk about the whole movie.
So
No.
they're shooting around and their droids coming in and shit's going fucking bananas and it's white noise. I was watching fucking Spielberg documentary that's him talking about his own work recently. It was like Spielberg on Spielberg.
Sure.
And he was talking about 1941 and Stevie Spielberg, Stevie Weavy is
A
really
friend of Georgie's.
Yeah, a friend of Georgie Porgy. Stevie Weavy I think is very interesting because he's very candid about his failures.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
Very clear-eyed
He's
about
a
them.
really good self-analyst. Yeah, no,
Yes.
he's great.
Yeah, and then so when he compliments himself on stuff, you're like, you can get away
he's
with
really
that
happy with this
because
you can tell.
Yeah, he knows when he's good and he knows when he's bad. And he was talking about 1941, and he said, I realized when I was sitting there in the theater, everyone was sitting there with their ears plugged.
Go on.
People were complaining that the movie was too loud. And
for which movie?
1941.
Oh, yeah.
Which was famously his first flop.
Yeah.
He was coming straight off of Jaws and Close Encounters.
Yes. It's before Raiders.
Right.
Yeah.
He has Belushi and Aykroyd, who, like, a year before this movie came out, pulled off the holy trinity of, what was it? Animal House was the #1 movie in America. SNL was the #1 TV show in America, and the Blues Brothers had the #1 album in America. So John Belushi, like, couldn't have been bigger, and Aykroyd was, like, his best collaborator.
Absolutely.
Right? And he's like, I'm putting fucking Aykroyd and Belushi in an action comedy. Spielberg's going to go to fucking war. He's got a huge budget. Ned
With,
Beatty,
a weird premise.
Warren Oates, all these weird character actors, great character actors.
Yeah.
And the movie's it's such a big flop.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks Spielberg's cooked.
It wasn't a flop money-wise, but it was seen as a flop.
It was a disappointment.
Yeah.
And it was not liked.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
After all of his movies had been like, he had yet to make a movie that wasn't like
No, I know.
a wild success.
Well, the Sugarland Express
was a wild success in relation to.
It doesn't matter.
Whatever,
We're not here discussing
whatever.
it yet.
He said it was too loud.
Sure.
And he was like, I didn't mix it any louder than my other movies. But it was the illusion of there was no silence in the movie. I had no moments of rest. So you're sitting there and it's action, 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 then comedy, and people are yelling, the bullets are flying, and there are lights and everything. And even visually, it was too loud. There was too much going on that people felt like they couldn't rest. And he was like, that taught me the most important lesson as a filmmaker, that you need to have these sort of peaks and valleys. I'm misquoting it. He worded it much more perfectly. But he was like, the small moments are what are effective and build up to the larger moments. And Spielberg is a master of silence. Knows when to really, like, pull back and make you focus on something. Not even use Johnny Williams' score.
But George Lucas...
Well, this movie is like the first 20 minutes are just fucking 1941.
And it's interesting because he also talks about, Lucas, in his commentaries, like, energy and how, like, the movie is slow here and then it picks up speed and we don't want to lose momentum. Like, he seems to be attuned to this, but then it doesn't show.
My favorite moments in Phantom and Clones, especially in Phantom, are the moments that are a little quieter. There's some moments where he just has ships going by, as we said, within frame, or just a very, very slow sort of pan, you know? Things like that. It's like, okay, there's a nice sort of rhythm to this. And this is like, the first 22 minutes of the movie are like a wash for me. Because everything's flying by, so much is going on. Every line the characters say is like a fucking one-liner.
Yep.
There's so much
Or
noise.
like horrible piece of information.
Yeah, expository
like,
dialogue.
Terrible, like clunky.
It's just like, my brain just shut off.
Okay. And like, we got the battle, and then I think, as you're mentioning, there's this thing where they like crash into the ship.
Oh, right. They
and
do
then
a
there's
crazy crash. Oh, they barely make it in.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of droids in there, and like R2 has like 4 things.
Okay, we gotta talk about R2. We gotta talk about R2.
Running around, he lights them on fire, he sprays them with oil.
R2's suddenly Inspector Gadget.
And it's really annoying.
It's really fucking annoying. R2 has, by and large, been a tactical robot.
Yeah. He's the repair droid, basically.
Right, and he's just simple, utilitarian.
Yeah.
He's not meant to move around. You put him in the ship, he repairs shit, right?
And in the second movie, he had this brief like moment of insanity where he like brutalizes C-3PO and flies around, but like it doesn't have any relation to anything, and it just sort of felt
and
tacked
also,
on.
the only special power we saw him use was the rockets. Like, even knocking off C-3PO, like, he did that in a very, like, in a way that was consistent with his movements in the first movie.
Sure,
if that makes any sense.
Yeah. But
dragging C-3PO's head was like, okay, he's got like a cord. All of a sudden, he's got like 4 arms that come out of his body. Like,
he's like holding a cell phone.
He's like holding those blue lines on his chest.
I know. They're like little arms.
Aren't just like they flip out. They're like articulated with like multiple joints in them. And then he's also got that data spike thing.
Yep.
Plus, he's got the rockets.
Yeah, and
he can shoot. He can fucking pee oil. He pee-pees oil, and then he uses the rockets to burn people with the oil. He's Inspector Gadget, and he's goofy.
But not only that, and I watched.
He's moving so fast too.
I watched the movie with my girlfriend last night, and she had some insights.
A humble brag.
Because she hasn't. Yeah, because she hasn't seen this movie. I don't think she'd ever seen the movie. She'd seen the other ones.
Okay.
And she was just really horrified, especially when he pees oil all over them and then sets them on fire.
Yep, gross.
The big battle droids. And she was like, he's not supposed to be violent. Like, R2's like a, cute little guy. He likes, he's sort of an ornery little guy, but he's not like, it's like a shockingly violent scene. Like, imagine if those weren't robots.
I would contend that these first 20 minutes are entirely violent.
They're crazy. Now, this movie is rated PG-13.
Yeah.
The other two movies were rated PG.
George is pushing
George is literally like, check it out, because someone is beheaded in the first 20 minutes.
Well, even the droid violence seems weirdly more visceral and frightening than it did in other movies. Like, I don't know if I'm just misremembering, but every time they, like, slash a droid, it's done this very angry way.
Yeah, sure.
And then the inner guts of the droid are, like, this bright, seared orange that looks kind of like...
Yeah, and the droids talk a lot, too. They're like, oh, my God. Like...
Whereas before, it was just kind of like you're knocking down, like it's a house of cards being knocked over by, like, a fly swatter.
Yeah.
Now it's suddenly like you're cutting things in half, and these things seem to have feelings, and their deaths are more grotesque.
Right.
And it all feels like they almost look, when they're split up, a little more organic than they used to.
Sure.
Not like he's
I know what you're
literally implying
saying.
they're organic.
It might
but the
just be
colors
because
used,
there's more technology, so they can like just make them look a little better,
Sure.
and like that almost bites them in the ass.
But there's like a lot more like red and orange that recalls the viscera of the human body.
There's also the clones. Like, that's not like, this movie has added this other CGI person thing. We'll get to them.
Very important sidebar.
We should talk about it because they are in the first 22
yes,
minutes.
In the opening fucking thing when like Anakin and Obi-Wan are talking over their intercoms and like making fucking jokes or whatever. They're like, "Sir, da 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 da," and they like cut to a clone trooper.
Yeah.
But he's not a clone trooper. He's a clone, but he's like wearing just like a fighter pilot uniform. He's not wearing the standard clone trooper armor.
No.
Armoire. And
it's Tamara Morrison.
It's Tamara Morrison. And I was like, why does his face look weird? It looks almost like Tamara Morrison is CGI.
Right.
And I realized what it is he's wearing not like a stormtrooper helmet, but like a fighter pilot helmet.
Yeah.
That's like a helmet with a
little
visor.
Orange visor, yeah.
The visor is fucking computer generated. The helmet is fucking computer generated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know if you ever use like FaceTime, and there are filters you can do on FaceTime.
I haven't. This is a thing you can like put bunny ears on someone's head or
Yeah,
whatever.
and so there's like a tracking thing in your computer that like looks, and like when you move your head, the bunny ears stay roughly on top of your head.
Cool. That's pretty
but there's some lag time.
Yeah,
if you move around quickly, the bunny ears are floating around.
I didn't notice this, although obviously it looked super CGI.
Jumped out to me. I was like, what looks unnatural here? It's literally the only organic thing in the frame is his face.
And even that doesn't look right.
Because there's CGI on the visor over it, and the helmet, and it's like when his face is moving, they're trying to move the helmet around it. Hey, guess what, George? Put a fucking helmet on a head.
It's also, let's talk about...
Put a helmet
all right, okay. Yes.
on a head.
But it's really creepy because there's this whole thing where they have to like get to the Star Destroyer thingy, and the clones basically like block the laser fire and die. Like that's like kind of their job. Like Anakin's like, let's go help them, and Obi-Wan's like, they're doing their job, dying. The whole clone thing is, they don't get into it enough. It's really weird and creepy.
Yep. So
really strange.
C-3PO's R2-D2's going all go gadget. Yeah. Anakin and Obi-Wan start like trying to make their way through the ship. We meet this fucking guy Grievous. Grievous is a robot with
worst.
He's a robot.
The worst character in all three movies. Worse than Jar Jar Binks. Worse than what's his pants? Nemoidian. What's legal?
Newt Gunray.
Newt Gunray. Worse than all of them, in my opinion.
Well, this is a very important point. We meet General Grievous.
Yep.
He's a robot with a cape.
He's a robot with a cape. Now, my girlfriend said, and you wanted me to repeat this because I told you after. Yeah, her immediate
I always say
reaction
save it
is,
for the podcast.
Why,
you always want to talk.
Why is the robot wearing a cape? Is he cold?
Yes.
He's
made of metal. Metal conducts temperatures. No, metal. Think about how cold metal gets.
But robots, he's a robot. Why would he be cold? None of the other ones wear capes.
Because it's made of metal. Metal gets cold. I don't understand. The logic is airtight here for me.
Why
about
is
how cold
he,
metal is in the winter?
He has essentially what feels like a smoker's cough.
Yeah, because he's got a cold. That's why he's wearing the cape.
He's sort of like, bring the Jedi to me. Like, it's the most
David, no,
bizarre
see, this tracks
character.
for me. This is set in the winter. He's wearing a cape because he's cold, and he has like a common house. He's got he's got the flu. I don't know. He's wheezing. He looks somewhat organic. I mean, there's like...
You're my least favorite person.
Oh, thank you. You're my best friend.
Yeah, he has organic pieces. Like, he has eyes.
Yeah.
that are kind of like snake-like.
And the flesh around his eyes looks like singed, like maybe he was
Right, it was
a
like
man
burned
rebuilt.
onto him, yeah, something like that.
Like he's RoboCop.
And
if
then
RoboCop
not to spoil the
sucked.
rest of the movie because you don't want to talk about it, but he has like some sort of internal organ.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I remember that now. General Grievous is there at his base, and he's like, it's all right. The second this feeds into like the white noise thing of the movie that's going on, right? Like they introduce him, and he's got 7 different ticks at the same time.
He's got a cape. He's limping. He's coughing. He's got weird eyes. He collects lightsabers in his jacket.
I already can't pay attention to this character because there's too much business. There is entirely too much business.
And not only that, we've been told this is like an important character who somehow kidnapped the Chancellor. He comes off immediately like a fool.
Like a fool.
Like he's decrepit.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be able to like walk around really well.
No.
This whole Chancellor kidnapping plan isn't working.
No,
he takes the Jedi's lightsabers and literally puts them in his pocket.
Yeah.
They immediately just call them back. Like you couldn't put him in like a locked box at least. He's like, I'll add it to my collection. Opens jacket, has a pocket, puts them in the pocket. The jacket doesn't close. There's no zipper. It's a cloak.
It's not a jacket. It's a
cloak.
cape. He's got,
All right,
he's got
you.
a cape pocket.
It's literally what? Why do you like put them away?
Yeah, he's a bad
they
character.
have force powers.
He's a bad character.
They can make anything go into their hands.
He's a bad character.
He's the worst character. There's so much more to talk about with him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Now, I think that he's in the cartoons, right?
Yes.
Like that's where his backstory
He's
lies.
really cool in the Johnny Tartakovsky cartoon.
I bet.
He
I'm sure.
fucking makes a meal out of his design, and they make him an almost silent character, and so he's a physical
Wait, we forgot to
presence.
mention his accent, because he has like a Dracula accent.
Yeah.
He's like, bring the Jedi to me.
It feels very
like
inspired by
Bela
Hotel
Lugosi.
Transylvania. It's a very Hotel Transylvania vibe. Blah, blah, blah.
Now, I
Everyone
read that
watch
Gary
Hotel
Oldman
Transylvania.
almost played this role.
Yeah, and then I heard John Rhys Davies almost played the role, and instead a guy who worked at Industrial Light and Magic played this role.
How did that happen?
I have no
Was he
fucking
just like in the canteen and was going like, I'm Dracula, and George Lucas was like, hire this man?
I really think Georgie Porgy wanted to get this movie over with.
Yeah, that's possible. Because I believe Oldman couldn't do it because the movie has these like weird union rules and like you had to be like, you know. And that was the rumor I heard, at least, that was the reason he couldn't do it.
I think it also just fits into like his,
I've been trained in lightsabers by Count Dooku.
the same part of him that would rather CGI a helmet rather than put a helmet on a head.
Right.
Would rather just get a guy.
Oldman's fussing. Fucking Jimmy over there.
Get a guy from down the hall. Oh, should we have one of our finest living actors? No, that guy over there mopping up. Have him play Grievous. You know?
Can you do a voice? I'm trying to find this guy's name, the actor's name.
Yeah, whatever. It is.
No, I'm interested.
But this is a very important point, David.
Matthew Wood.
Yeah, right.
Go on.
But it's also so modulated, the performance. I mean, it's like whatever voice he's doing, it's also run through like 17
Absolutely.
filters.
No, I
and
mean
then the
it sounds awful.
There's so much
You
fucking
can barely
going on.
tell what he's talking about.
And
Not that it matters.
There's so much camera movement, too. There's so much fake CGI camera movement that's like you barely can get your bearings within a single frame,
Yeah.
David. So much visual information,
Yeah,
so much noise.
He's a sound editor, by the way. That's who Matthew Wood is.
Well, it sounds like he did 2 bad jobs on this movie. I just bought like a new fucking sound system for my TV, and it sounded all burnt out.
Yeah.
I was like, is my thing not working?
Okay. Did you get one of those bars?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, those things are good.
It's
right?
fucking great.
My friend has one. He really
Got a
likes
Yamaha
it.
soundbar from Costco. Can't
They're
recommend it enough.
sponsoring us. Yeah. How much did you pay for that?
Costco?
Yeah.
It will. Okay, so here's the thing. It's usually, I think, probably $250 in any other store.
Yeah, that's how much.
Costco's price was $219.
Guys, get yourself over to Costco. Get yourself a Yamaha.
Oh, David, I'm not done yet.
Oh.
Because Costco had an immediate in-store rebate. No need to mail it in. $189.
Damn.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
And they had Samsung as well for $189. Yeah, multiple options. Costco's the best. They're sponsoring us. Please sponsor us. Grievous is like, what's going on here?
No, wait. We should actually pull back because in between the space battle and Grievous is the Dooku fight.
I'm talking about the very first introduction of Dooku.
Oh, okay. All right, okay,
Grievous.
fair
I'm
enough,
actually
This is
going
before
back
he captures
further,
them,
which is
right.
just when he sees that they're coming towards him, and he turns to like a Nemoidian and goes like, whatever the fucking dialogue is. I don't remember. It's not
Blah,
important.
blah, 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 blah.
But the Nemoidian, and it's a new Nemoidian I don't think we've seen before.
Yeah.
goes like, "Sir, the Jedis are coming for us."
Yeah, he has an American accent. I know. I noticed that.
This is huge.
It is. It's interesting. They're like, maybe this guy should talk different. Yeah.
He almost sounds like a Californian surfer.
Yeah, no, he does. You're right. You're absolutely right. He's looking at some.
Sir, the Jedis are approaching.
And General Grievous is like, use the blaster shields, spaghetti.
Make a pizza pie.
He's like a diner chef.
But
It's too bad Jexter's not in this one, by the way. Sad.
Not at all?
No, I know.
Fuck this movie.
yeah, just turn it off.
TC-14 comes back, though, right?
Griffin.
Double fuck this movie. It does feel like in a severe instance of too little, too late.
Mm-hmm. Someone finally prevailed on George.
Or the Georgie Porgy was trying to go like, see, they don't all sound like that. It was just those specific characters.
But Newt Gunray does come back, and guess what?
He sounds like that.
Yep. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, you're saying like, look, he just has an accent
Those
from
guys
his planet.
specifically, they're all regionally. That was they're not Chinese aliens. Maybe that one grew up in space China.
Yeah, space China.
This guy grew up in space Valencia. He sounds like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
For 1 minute.
He's got like 2 lines, yeah. And he goes like, "Sir, I think the Jedis are here."
But I think that is after the Dooku fight because they have.
There's one line he
Palpatine
has
with
before
them.
the
No,
Dooku
it's
fight
fine,
where they
but-
see him approach. Okay,
So let's talk about the Dooku fight because
Archie's
this is
doing
actually
business.
insane.
They're getting through. They get into a room. There's
They
a
just
big
get
chair.
into a room,
They just-
by the way. I mean, okay, no, there's some business with like an elevator shaft. They go up, they go down. R2's like
some Magna Guards, but once they get to the room is just fucking empty.
empty room. Palpatine's sitting in a chair with like something bound to his hand. You know, he's tied to the chair.
But he seems weirdly calm.
He does. I mean, you know.
Oh, thank you so much for showing it. Whatever, So they come up and they're like talking to him. Yeah, I feel like he has a couple interesting lines. I don't.
He's basically like, "Watch out, he's a Sith Lord," and Obi-Wan's like, "Oh, okay."
Before Dooku shows up, there was like an exchange that I'm forgetting that I thought was kind of interesting at the time, but whatever. We'll talk about it when we watch the movie fucking 9 more times.
Yeah.
And
then
he's very calm. He goes, "Oh no, look, a Sith Lord." Turn around, Dooku's there.
Dooku's there. He does this embarrassing CGI jump down.
Okay.
And
This is the 3rd Yoda jump that has happened so far in this movie.
I know, it's crazy.
We talked about how the Yoda jumping around thing was like the moment where Attack of the Clones just totally
It's
breaks in
Uncanny
half.
Valley, like we said with JD. Yeah.
Morgan Evans, former guest, referred to him as being like Flubber. He said Yoda just turns into Flubber. He's just Flubber. There are like
Gorb Morgan there for a
Thank
second.
there are 3 Flubber jumps in the first 22
You
minutes.
mean
of the
like
movie.
with the elevator? and
Obi-Wan
all that
does a
stuff?
flubber jump.
Yeah, no, he does. He
Obi-Wan does a total flubber jump where he suddenly just becomes a cartoon rag doll.
Yeah.
Then R2 does a flubber jump.
Yes.
No
And then-
question does a flubber
No, yeah,
jump.
and then Chris Lee.
And Chris Lee, and we talked about how, like, clearly there's some doubles in this because he's an old man,
Yeah,
but it's done
he's
pretty
old.
seamlessly in Clones.
It's better. They figured it out. They choreographed it smarter, I think. So they had to do that
And they're
less.
doing wide shots.
They're doing wide shots, and obviously he's bouncing off of an Unreal thing anyway, so the Unreal thing can bounce.
And also, his fighting style was very classical. Yoda's jumping around, but he's standing there and sort of just fencing.
Right, exactly.
He's got his arms outstretched. He's very rigid.
This one he's showing off for a
doesn't
minute
feel
when he
like- oh
does
my
this
God.
somersault.
You know he's fake the entire
I know,
time. It's
it's-
because his head is barely connected to his body.
I know.
He does a somersault just to show up.
And then
he could have walked down the fucking stairs or just jumped straight down. Instead, he does a fucking flip. And then he's doing crazy motions. He knocks out Obi-Wan.
No, I'm sorry. Before he knocks out Obi-Wan, I
Yeah.
really want to highlight Obi-Wan's
Oh.
line of, "Don't worry, Sith Lords are speciality."
Yeah. And
What
so-
Sith Lords?
They-
All right, Obi-Wan killed one Sith Lord
One time.
one time.
And too late.
And
After
then
he had killed his...
and Dooku
mentor.
chopped off one of them's arm and put a fucking boiler on the other one. So that was a draw at best.
Right, so they thought the Sith
So
Lords...
I don't know about Sith Lords or our speciality.
They thought that the Sith Lords were dead, right? At the beginning of Phantom Menace, they think Sith Lords no longer exist.
Absolutely.
They kill one Sith Lord after he kills Obi-Wan's
Very
best
true.
friend and mentor.
Very true. He did kill someone. Forgot about that.
Kills him, but like too late, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't kill Dooku.
Nope.
Lets him get away.
They still don't know who the actual
They
Sith
get to
Lord
it.
is.
So I'm sorry, that's not your speciality. Your
Nope.
speciality is
I
killing...
mean, maybe that George is trying to be ironic that he's saying it to the real Sith
I don't
Lord.
think so.
No, probably not.
No, I think his speciality is battle droids, which, big whoop, anyone could kill a fucking battle
He
droid.
can kill a lot of them.
I could fart on a battle droid and it'd break in half.
Anyway, as you say, They kind of chat with Dooku for a second, where Dooku's like, hand over those sabers, gentlemen. No, don't want to make a mess. And they're like, fuck you, we're gonna fight you. And then he just drops like a staircase on Obi-Wan.
Yeah, they're fighting like crazy.
In like the shittiest CGI as well.
Yeah,
Obi-Wan's like pinned. It looks terrible.
Oh, there's one line where he goes like, "This time, let's fight 2 against 1. Let's fight at the same time."
Yeah.
He says something like that. It's like,
yeah, right.
Oh, right, smart.
He's
maybe you
learned.
shouldn't.
Ooh, he's mature.
Yeah. No, that's basic fucking logic. If you're 2 good guys
But
and
he
there's
didn't
one
do it
bad
last
guy,
time.
don't go like, you go first,
By
I'll
the
hang
way,
back.
Dooku had lightning powers last time. Those are
Not
mysteriously
used at all.
disappeared
And
this time. Not sure why.
He could have saved his own life had he...
Almost throws this fight, it feels like.
Yeah, it feels like...
It really is pretty bad.
It feels like Harikari.
Because, he and Anakin fight for a bit.
Yeah.
He has this thing where Anakin's like, my powers have doubled since I last... And he's like, twice the pride, double the fall.
How much later does this movie take place?
Several years.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
Actually, I could try to find out.
They're watching the fight. Palpatine is fucking loving it.
Yeah. He's just like, get him.
Because good, Anakin, good.
Yeah,
And
it's
he's
totally
like,
true.
He's just going like, ooh, interesting. Like, he's fucking having a ball, right? He's playing both teams. And he's just enjoying the fight. Then, what happens?
It's been 3 years. Just
Okay.
to let you know. Since
So it's a
Attack of the
3-year
Clones.
war.
Yeah.
Anakin,
chops off, in a kind of a weird fluid move, chops off Dooku's hands.
both of them.
Yeah. Sort of like brings,
really violent.
It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts.
Pretty jarring.
Dooku falls to his knees.
Yeah.
Anakin catches his blade like with ease and just like gives him the old sort of, puts them to his neck.
He's got like chopsticks going. He's got like a blade in each hand pointing the opposite direction, so he's got a blade against each side of his neck.
Course. And Dooku's just looks like a sad grandpa all of a sudden. He's just so upset. He's so defeated.
And Palpatine's like, finish him.
No, he literally says, kill him.
Kill him.
And
Just like a
Anakin's
command. It's not like he's like requesting it.
No,
just
he goes like,
Anakin, kill
good,
him.
Anakin, good.
Yeah.
Kill it. And Anakin's like, oh, duh, I don't know if I should do it. That's not the
That's
Jedi
a Jedi
way.
way. God, Anakin's getting really gay.
Yeah.
it's getting
And,
really good.
and
really
Palpatine literally, you would hope maybe that there'd be, Palpatine would really sort of try and sell this and be like, oh, you got to kill him. He'll come, like he just said, do it.
Isn't there a moment too where he goes like, remember what we talked about?
No. He just says,
It might
do
happen
it.
after he kills Dooku. But there's a line in here that implies that they have been meeting and talking a lot.
They were supposed to know that, that Anakin's gotten very close with the Emperor. I mean, the Chancellor.
Right. And it's like, well, show us that shit.
No, they won't. And,
That should have been happening.
no,
too.
thank you. And,
That's an interesting dynamic. Maybe that should have been on screen. The developing of their relationship. How they go from 0 to 60. At the end of Phantom Menace, he's like, I'm going to keep an eye on you, boy.
no,
Attack of the Clones, he does almost nothing.
Pats
he
him on the shoulder.
barely corresponds with Anakin.
We shall watch your career with great interest.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
right. And then in this one, he just, everything good happened off screen.
Anyway, Anakin chops off his head.
And he's immediately, like, he's so even-keeled about it, right?
Anakin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know if I should. And Palpatine's like, you should. And he's like, okay, I will. Decapitates,
Yeah,
right?
gross.
Head rolls. Gross.
Yep.
What the fuck is this movie? Okay?
Yeah.
And then Anakin goes like, I shouldn't have done that. Like,
That was a
immediately.
bad idea.
Yeah, he goes, that was a bad
Which,
idea.
by the way, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, kill the Sith Lords. They're magical wizards of dark evil. Like, I don't actually really get why it's supposed to be like, no, they should probably die. They are
Yeah.
impossible to imprison.
But he was like so
They
wrecked
shoot
with
lightning
guilt.
out of their hands for
He was
crying out loud.
So wrecked with guilt about the slaughtering, the,
Tusken Raiders,
genocide of the Tusken
which was
Raiders.
pretty horrifying. Let's not.
Yeah,
forget.
no, agreed, right? But he was very emotionally affected by
Yeah,
that.
this one he's just like, ugh, gross.
You know what? That was a mistake. You know
Anyway.
what? That was bad. Bad on me.
Anyway, he frees Palpatine.
And Palpatine's like, no, it was good. It was good.
Yeah,
and he's
Palpatine-
like, I don't know.
Now, this movie really is about how every character's internal logic radar is broken.
Yeah.
Because Palpatine is basically just like a serpent at this point. He's like, yes. And then he's like, Palpatine's like, we gotta go. Forget Obi-Wan.
Palpatine's got a big foam finger that says Sith on it.
Obi-Wan is literally lying peacefully with like a staircase kind of touching his ankles.
He looks beautiful.
And
He's a
Palpatine is like,
beautiful
it's
slumber. He's like
over.
Sleeping
He's
Beauty.
dead.
Yeah.
And like Anakin's like, don't worry about it. Like just like
He says,
his fate will be our own.
yeah, right. So they take Obi-Wan.
But like, why isn't Anakin like, hold up, like, excuse me, like I just like stormed this like whole starship and like I can pick up the stupid staircase for 1 second. Why are you pushing this?
yeah,
Because Palpatine doesn't drop it. He's like, no, there's no time.
and Grievous gets away.
Well, yeah, there's a whole scene where Grievous like steals their lightsabers and R2, and then R2 does this like decoy trick where he like turns on all his devices at once, and then they use that
Go Gadget copter. He has the
Yeah.
magnifying glass come out of the top of his hat.
They use that distraction to grab their lightsabers from Grievous's cape pocket.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of business with like the starship like starts going down, and then they level it off. And
They
then
take control of the
crash
starship,
it.
and they're trying to fucking bring it back to course.
It sucks.
Sucked, and it's so hard to fucking.
And yeah,
watch.
Grievous escapes. I guess I don't know. He gets in a ship or something.
So remember how we thought that the choice to let Dooku get away at the end of Clones was unfulfilling, narratively on a dramatic
Talk
level.
about unfulfilling.
And then we were like, it must be because they're setting him up as the big bad. And then he's like the intermediary boss.
Yeah, not even. He's the first boss. Grievous is the intermediary boss.
Yeah.
That's how shitty Dooku is in this movie. The coughing robot with a cloak and snake eyes is the intermediary boss.
Dooku is on screen for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And for 2 minutes and 54 seconds of those 3 minutes, it is a
it's a
Christopher
CGI
Lee head
yeah.
on a
It's
cartoon
flubber.
ragdoll.
It's a flubber.
It's a flubber. He's a flubber.
Yeah. Christopher Flubberly.
Right. This is what I would equate the first 22 minutes of this movie to. I would say it is like watching someone else play a video game.
That is a really good point.
Because
Except like a bad video game. Because like my roommate will watch me play The Witcher 3, like wrapped with attention.
yeah, but that's a video game with a strong narrative arc.
Exactly.
I'm saying like if you're watching someone play like a war game or a space battle game,
Sure. Yeah.
you're like,
Perfect.
that would be fun if I was doing that.
Maybe.
If I had stake in this because I was controlling it, was trying to get through, and it feels very mission based, like shoot this, get this,
Hit the
knock
center
out
eye.
those droids, yeah, all that shit, right?
Activate oil slick.
Right. They are like giving you video game commands like they're an NPC.
Yeah.
right?
Hit C left.
Yeah. The only time I could get engaged in this movie was I went, well, this would be fun to play.
I guess so. Yeah.
Because to start in media res with this, with so much fucking sound
and Fury.
and fury, right? Just this white noise, this cacophony of just fucking nonsense happening. We don't care about these characters. We already haven't cared about them for 2 films. You're dropping us in and not even giving us time to re-assimilate, you know? Like, get our bearing. And so it's just like, the only way I would have stake in this is if I was actually trying to make this shit happen. If I was trying to pilot the ship. And instead you're just watching it and going like, can I get a turn or can we watch something together?
And the other
because
problem,
it's not fun for me to watch.
The other problem, which we've talked about before, which recurs through all the films, is that the Jedis, it's like watching one of those like YouTube speedrunners who knows everything already and is really like committed and boring and focused
and arrogant.
to it. Yeah,
It's like,
the
this might be
Jedis
hard
just,
for some of you, but
they
for me,
walk into what seems like a crazy situation, like, yeah, don't worry about it, slice anyway, move to the next room. You know, there's no fun. They're having no fun.
The Jedis are douchebags in this movie. Like, they're so cocky. There's no struggle.
We have so much to talk about.
It's someone
with the
doing a
Jedis in this
speed run of
movie.
a video game.
This movie,
You're right.
I
It's
swear.
watching someone do a speed run of a video game. That's not great. And
at the same time, they do that and it's not great. But then Senator Palpatine is Chancellor is like, I'm evil. And they're like, oh, hi, Chancellor. Nice to see you. Anyway, let's keep going. They're so stupid.
And let it be said, McDermott's killing it.
Great.
From the
we're
get-go.
going to have a lot to talk about with him.
We
Can't
might do
wait
a
to
whole
the
episode on
performance
him.
No, he's so good.
I love Sith.
But I mean, you wish the movie would rise to that level of fun, you know, to that level of theatricality, but it doesn't.
Yep. Well, this has been episode 1 of Revenge of the Podcast.
Yeah, I guess we're done. Is there anything we missed? I don't think so.
I think so. I mean, we'll rewatch it. I'm sure we already forgot a ton of things. But
But, you know, we don't see Padme. We don't see some of our old faves, like, you know, in this first opening sequence.
oh no, we're
There's
seeing
no Padme. There's
No.
no, like, 3PO.
no Dexter
There's
Jettster,
no Mace
TC-14,
Windu. Or
no Mace Windu,
Yoda.
no
There's
Yoda.
no Ellen Sleazebaggano.
No. I mean,
The bomber.
he comes back, right?
We'll see.
Why fucking set up that thread about him trying to go on the straight and narrow if we're not going to see him turn out well? I want like the end of a Boyhood.
Yeah, right.
Where the guy
where
who worked
the migrant worker went to school and became like
your mother's a great woman.
I actually really like that scene, even though people hate that scene in Boyhood, because that scene is so out of the blue.
Yeah.
Weird, like, you know, because they're just in a restaurant and he's like, hi, remember me from like an hour ago?
Yeah.
You told me to go to school like while you were walking away, like over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Well, I went to school and I really appreciate that advice that you gave me. And you're like, oh yeah, nice job, white lady. You told like the migrant
The
worker
white
to go to
savior
school.
element of it is gross.
But I think David Ehrlich made this point to me, but I seized it and remembered it. Is like Boyhood's about like watching someone slowly develop and not really realizing it because you're with them all the time.
Yeah.
But this is like there's like a drastic development off screen.
Yeah, I like that too.
And it's like like time has passed. Like people's circumstances change wildly.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I wish
It's just a
wasn't
little-
played
it's a
out
little ham-handed.
racially. It's a little.
It is.
Yeah, but I like the idea of it. Yes, I do.
Boyhood's a good movie.
Yeah. Why was I equating it to Boyhood?
You're talking about Ella and Sleazebag,
Oh yeah, we want him to come back and go like, I don't know if you remember me, but I met you at a bar.
Episode 4 is probably about that. I'm just assuming now we're so stupid that there's an episode 4.
Well, Disney did buy the company, so I'm assuming they did that in order to make an episode 4.
Maybe that's what it is.
That's probably what we could probably look forward to an episode 4 from Disney sometime in the next 5 or 10 years. I mean, it takes a long time for movies to get off the ground.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be talking about this movie for a bunch of weeks, and then after that, I don't know. We'll go on to other movies because we'll have to wait for episode 4 to come out. We got some great guests coming up this season.
People hate the bit.
We got some great guests. Yeah, I don't know what the
Hey,
fuck
hey,
you're
Ben.
talking about.
Ben's looking at me with just scorn.
You're being a real sleazebagino right now.
Yeah.
We got some great guests coming up. David doesn't even know about them. They're going to be fucking exciting surprises. They got tons of
let's
Twitter
turn
followers.
this off and you can tell me who they are.
They'll push to the top of the
All right,
charts.
tons of Twitter followers. Let me take some guesses. Taylor Swift.
Yep.
Oh, that'd be amazing. What if Taylor Swift came on this podcast?
You know what I've been thinking a lot lately?
Shoot.
I think Taylor Swift would like me.
Yeah, probably.
I think she would think I was fun. I'm not saying she would like me.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Although a boy can dream. But I do think we'd hit it off. And we'd shake it off. If you know what I'm saying, David. I think Taylor Swift and I would shake it off.
Turn off his microphone.
I know, yeah.
Please, rate, review,
Yes,
subscribe.
listen to other UCB network podcasts.
So you're going through a breakup?
Yeah.
Menage a trois with Murph and Diana?
You tell it.
You're telling me to tell her, or that's the name of the
no,
other
that's the name of the show.
Okay.
You tell it.
Long form conversations.
Long form, that's what I was thinking.
Please, yeah, do listen to all of those. Subscribe, rate, review. Don't be a fucking Sith. 5 stars or nothing.
That's great.
And once again, remember, if you give us 1 star, you are not allowed to listen anymore. So
Or be a guest.
think through on that, Taylor.
Dear, oh dear.
That is all I have to say on the matter. I look forward to watching the rest of this film. Unlike with Attack of the Clones, where I loved the beginning of the movie and then knew already that it didn't pay out, I'm going into this with the opposite opinion. I know you hate this movie.
I do.
But I'm looking at the first 22 minutes, I'm going, who knows what happens in the back?
We just dissed it for so long.
Yeah, but I've only seen the first 22 minutes. I don't know.
This movie is the worst of the Star Wars.
Impossible.
movies. It's not impossible.
Impossible.
In fact, it's very likely.
Impossible.
Yep.
Although I haven't liked one thing that's happened on screen so far, other than Ian McDermott's performance. Thank you for listening.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be back next week with Taylor Swift.
Will we?
Yeah, we'll be discussing sound mixing. We'll be discussing... Taylor Swift is like a J.D. Amato level savant when it comes to the technical aspects of
She's
sound.
been in the music industry since she was 16
You
years
think
old.
I'm fucking joking? I'm not. Taylor Swift will be our guest next week talking about sound mixing.
She's gonna
Great.
teach me a thing or two.
Yeah.
Great. She knows where at the
Well,
UCB training
why do you
center.
think I'm bringing her in?
Oh.
I'm glad you're taking the hint.
Oh, okay.
I've been realizing some old episodes, Ben. You haven't done some of the edits that we asked you to.
That's true.
All those times I told you to edit out.
mention of your father's financial problems?
Yeah, I think fucking you added some in. It feels like some episodes you dropped
Ben
audio
does a
from
great
other
Griffin.
episodes.
He does a great Griffin.
Taylor Swift will be coming here next week, talk about Matthew Wood's sound mix on the film, his sound editing on the film. We'll give Ben some helpful pointers,
Yep.
and we'll try to hit it off. Look, just as friends. I'm just looking for friends. If you want something more, I don't know, that's fine. But I just think we'd really get along. I think we have a lot in common.
Great.
Thank you for listening, and as always, shake it off.